Thank you to the Chelsea High School Hornet Pride Marching Band. I am Hayden Desmond here with Jerry Elmore, former coach, high school football coach of Cullman High School and father of current Chelsea High School football coach Chris Elmore. Now, Mr. Elmore, what do you think of the game so far by the Hornets?
Well, we had the game in pretty good shape when we were up 21, and of course when they got it 21-7, you know, we made one stop down here, and that was a game changer. But when it got back 21-14, it's a whole new ball game, and they've got a good team. We're going to have to figure out a way to get some pressure on the passer and defend the pass a little bit better, and then we're going to have to get a little more consistent on offense probably. But it's still young. We've been a second half team.
Yes, sir. Now, as I mentioned, you were a coach here at Cullman. What was that like?
Well, we moved here in 1974, I believe, and I was assistant coach here for 5 years, and just ran into the guy that was head coach, Dale Brock, just on my way up to the press box a minute ago, and I was the head coach here 4 years, and we really enjoyed living in Cullman. It's a good town. Facilities weren't this nice at that time. They have really changed the stadium and of course, the playing surface and everything, but and living in Cullman was a great experience for us.
Definitely. Now, the head coach here at Cullman right now, Mark Britton, was actually your quarterback when you were coaching here. And what is it like to see a player of yours go into a coaching role?
Well, this is a strange thing altogether for me because when Mark was my first quarterback in 1979, Chris was 3 years old, and of course Mark was his hero. He went to every game with his number 11 jersey on, and now Chris is coaching, and he's got a little boy that's 4 years old, and he goes to every game with his Matt Marquette jersey on. So it's kind of watching like an instant replay. But Mark was a really good player and a great leader and just a fun guy to coach, and we've kept close over the years. And it's not the same as having two sons play against each other, but it's a lot like it.
Yeah, now you talked about your son. He's become a pretty well-respected coach, not only in the Chelsea area, but in a lot of other places. What has it been like to see him sort of follow in your footsteps?
Well, you know, it makes me a lot more nervous. When you're doing it yourself, you don't have time to get nervous. And it's kind of hard to, it gets where it bothers me a little bit on Friday afternoon. It's game time with coaches. But Chris is a lot better coach than I was. He does a lot of things well, and the game has changed so much. If he ever asks me for any advice on something, I give it. But he doesn't ask a lot, and I don't volunteer much because I feel like it's his show to run. And one interesting thing about that, too, is my dad was a coach. And same thing, my dad just, if I ever asked him something, he'd give me his opinion, but he didn't ever come around trying to tell me how to do it. So I've enjoyed watching him. I think he does a good job. Chelsea's just a great place to live and work, and kids play hard. And I look for them to come back this second half and play real well because they have been a second half team. And I don't think we played very well, not just because they scored 3 touchdowns, but I don't think we played very well the second quarter. And I look for us to have a good second half and hopefully win the game.
Chelsea is definitely a really good team in the second half. Now, looking forward, what do you hope that the Hornets can accomplish into the playoffs?
Well, you know, a lot of people talk about this last game not meaning much because the playoffs are already set up, but I think as a youngster, when they look back years from now, being 8-2 is a lot better than being 7-3. And if you don't play well this last game, my fear would be that might carry over into the playoffs. But Bessemer's got a good team, but I think we've got a good team, and I think we'll have a good chance to win. And you know, when you get in them, you just never know what happens, who can stay healthy and who can get the breaks. And I look for it to be an exciting football game next week, and hopefully we'll be strong enough to win.
I do too. Now, Mr. Elmore, thank you for your time. It was great to talk to you.
Thank you.
Moving on, we have stats. Looking at the score, it is 24-21 Chelsea. Chelsea is leading in the rushing category with 17 rushes for 112 yards to Cullman's 22 rushes for 84 yards, almost doubling their average yards per rush with 6.6 to 3.8. Chelsea has only attempted 9 passes, completing 6 of them for 120 yards. Cullman has attempted 21 passes, completing 14 for 157 yards. Now, I'm joined by David Brady. Now, David, how do you think these two offenses compare to each other?
Wow. Well, when we first started the game, I thought Chelsea was dominating. But it just goes to show you can't stop. You can't stop in the game. You can't, be complacent. And I think that's what happened that second quarter because, at first Chelsea had the game. So it's time for them to step up and see, what they can do in the second half.
Looking at the stats, Chelsea has only run 27 total plays to Cullman's 44. Do you think that has more played into the Cullman's ability to get back into this game?
Oh, I definitely think so. They've done real well in the second quarter as to whether it's passing, running. The big plays has really helped them. And, Ray alluded to it during the game. I mean, the penalties, whether you think they're right or not, we're getting bombarded with penalties. And it's going to be hard to win a game if you're constantly stepping back.
Right. I was on the sideline, and I heard Coach Ellison and Coach Elmore both yelling that, Cullman's blocking downfield, and they're trying to get these officials to open their eyes. But sometimes they don't always call your way. The receivers for Chelsea have definitely stepped up. Lee Rickard has 2 catches for 59 yards and a touchdown. Jay Vickers has 2 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown. And Hunter Blackburn got back out there for a catch for 8 yards. Do you think that having Hunter back in the receiver rotation has helped?
I definitely think so. He's definitely a great player. He's a big impact player. He can play all kind of different roles, and having him back in there just kind of gives them that little bit more dynamic that they needed. Concerned on some injuries we've had here of late, but Chelsea seems to be holding their own.
You talked about injuries. Austin Stallworth is out, like we mentioned earlier, with a broken finger, which has projected Kendrick Simpson into the backup running back role. Now, he's only got 1 carry for 6 yards, but I've seen him throw some key blocks and some big Zaylen Reynolds runs.
Well, I definitely think that's what he's done. He's come into the game. He's been supporting the team, and he took, when he got the ball, he got some great yardage out of it, and I'd like to see him use him more. I think he's definitely a good impact player, and he's come in and taken over that role real well. Because he could have it could have been very difficult coming behind, the rack he was trying to jump in front of there, but. I look forward to seeing him get more reps this next half.
Now, one thing I do want to talk about, and I don't think gets enough love, is the offensive line. The offensive line has been incredible, letting Matthew stay in the pocket and have time on his throws. And I know specifically on the Jay Vickers touchdown, he was able to sit in the pocket, go through his reads, and make a great pass down to Jay. I don't think the offensive line gets enough credit there.
Oh, I don't think so either. I think those guys, open up those holes. Those guys keep keep guys pushing downfield, and they've been stellar in the game. It's just that the penalties, we just got to stop those penalties, or we're never going to keep moving forward. Those penalties are just hurting us that first half.
Penalties have definitely been killing us. Now, looking at the defensive side of the ball, obviously the one big injury, Hunter Alford went out with a knee, projecting Ethan Shaw into coming. Do you think he's done really well in getting in there?
Oh, I think so. I mean, we've heard his name a number of times on some tackles, and so I think he's definitely jumped up to take that role.
For the playing of the Cullman High School alma mater.
Now, Bryson Hardy had a big interception on the very first play of the game, I think. Do you think that he'll have sort of the same impact going into the second half?
Oh, I think so. He's wow. I mean, the guy's a good player. I mean, he's a high impact player, and that just shows it right there. That really, I think, is what kind of got us jump started. When we got that, really, we went down the field, we scored, and we scored. I mean, during the first quarter, 3 times. After that, we just could not get our offense back online. I think that's basically what is happening at halftime. Coach Elmore's back there telling those guys, hey, all right, guys, that's it. We need to step up. You know what you got to do. Just get out there and play your position and execute. And I know that's what's going to happen because that's just Chelsea. We've seen that all season. They'll settle down and get back in the second half.
Chelsea's definitely a second-half team, as we've seen in the season. Do you think that they'll go with more of a dink and dump and going like 8-yard slants, or do you think they'll try to go for the deep post and try to get big plays to jumpstart the offense?
I think they're going to just mix it up. I think they're going to have that dump off play, some screens, but Zaylen is running great. That play at the end of the half, I thought we had it. I thought we had a touchdown, a few more steps he'd have had it, but that just showed you the explosive plays that we can make. Just as a drop of a hat, we went down the field in less than a minute and scored. So it was great to go into the half ahead, and hopefully that will kind of jumpstart us to say, okay, guys, we're ready to start the second half.
Yeah, Zaylen, I'm really looking for Zaylen to have a big second half. Now, Chelsea's 3 for 7 on third down to Cullman's 4 for 8. Do you expect that number to go up?
You know, we need to stay out of that. We need to get good yardage on the first and second downs and leave the last third down as manageable. We've had some issues with that in that second quarter, and hopefully they've corrected that and are going to come out and try to get those plays. And that's what the first quarter, if we could just emulate that and repeat that, I tell you, we'll go away with a win.
Definitely. All right, thank you, Mr. Brady. We will turn it back over to Doug Ragland and Ray Franklin. My name is Hayden Desmond, and thank you for listening.
Hayden. Thank you, Hayden. Get set for the second half now. I'm Doug Ragland along with Ray Franklin. Hayden Desmond, who just emceed our halftime, is our sideline reporter. He heads on back down to the sidelines.